Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing this Rakdos mid-range deck with some cool cards like Tiny Bones and Karavek in the list. But today is a good example of a deck just being solid. We go and run really well with the deck today, but a lot of cards showed their value. I think this is one of the few times where I've played a deck and like not one card is the best card in the deck. For example, where like a lot of times blue-black will rely on like Gix or something, or sometimes we're pretty reliant on Preacher to do well. Today, every card performed very well and was demanding a spot in this deck. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. But I don't have like a whole lot to say, but we'll talk about kind of our strategy here as much as it's pretty much straightforward. But main thing we want to do is get a Tiny Bones or a Duress on turn one a lot of times, especially depending on our curve. Duress is paired really well when you lead into Deep Cavern Bat and Liliana, because you just get their hand hate out there very quickly, especially when you have an Inti or a Gix on the back end to start drawing you cards or getting value off discards. One of the big things that we do today is we get the bottom part of this activated in a lot of different ways, in terms of whenever you discard one or more cards, exile the top card of your library, you may play that card until your next end step. That works with Liliana pluses, which we actually get to do quite often. It works with Restless Fence discarding and looting, which we get to do quite often. There's a game in which we attack with 2 Restless Vents and an Inti to exile the top 3 cards of our deck and put a counter on something, and they're menace creatures, and it's very difficult for our opponents to block. This deck had a really hot run today. I think it worked out incredibly well. It also did well in a standard challenge recently, going a score of 5-2, so that's very good. So other than that, I think we just hop into the matches and just let the deck prove its worth. Okay. Opponent going first. I have the bones that are tiny. They're creaking, if you would. This is pretty cool. We get to do kind of the sweet thing in which, like, oh, maybe. Let's slam him. See if he gets removed. Maybe they'll play with fire me. If not, this gains me 2 life and I'll take it. But what's really cool sometimes against like decks like this. Ooh, we're plotting. That sucks. So a lot of times what's cool, and what I was trying to say, is that you get to like remove their 1-drop here and then hit them with Tiny Bones and then just like cast their Swift Spear. Got nothing for me? Sure. We can play this game. Let's make it complicated. Let's Deep Cavern Bat here. See if they have a protection spell in there. That's really the only thing I'm afraid of. Monstrous Rage, good. All those are good. 2 own gains haste till on the turn. These are like great, but do I just remove the Scamp? I guess like the Scamp's not that big of a deal to me, comparatively to how dangerous. Target creature gets 2 own gains haste when this creature dies. Yeah, I think I just take a Monstrous Rage, you know? Yeah, might as well. And then skip this in. And then we're kind of chilling. This also didn't give trample, right? Yeah, correct. Sure. That gives me so much mana to play with here. I don't want them to block. I'll make you make the decision right now. What do you want to do? Obviously, they're going to get rid of Deep Cavern Bat. I feel like it has to be that. Like, there's no reason for it not to be. Now, do I hit them and play their Scamper? Is that even worth it? Or is Bat plus Go for the Throat better? I think Bat plus Go for the Throat's better. Just keep constantly taxing them here. Weirdly enough, I think I'm gonna take the Rage because I don't want them to replace their creature if I kill it. Decline. End turn. It's almost like I foreshadowed what I want to do. Sure. Sure. We need them to commit one of these monstrous rages. If they even plan to, I guess. Yeah. Just remove it. You can pump the other one. That's perfectly fine with me. Sure. Perfectly fine. It's a big creature and it's a lot of damage I'm taking right away. But, you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Then he's in. Let's play. I have a flapper, if you would. Obviously, we're not going to reveal anything here, but we'd like to at least look. Or at least have, like, a blocker in theory. Just double block. Don't really need to do much else other than this spot. Get rid of Deep Cavern Bat, sure. Ooh, Hundredge. Not really where we want to be, I don't think. Up. Uppy up. One. Gildred will be good in the future here. Yep. Might as well. So we can have it block mono. Probably won't risk the Deep Cavern Bat here. Or just do it like this. And Scamp doesn't die, so I guess, yeah, come on now. It's like always weird when it's their creature, you know? Gildred. NT. This one. No card to discard, so we won't get that draw. And it's like we couldn't have held the land last turn either because of the way it works. I guess attacking with the bat, I mean, realistically they'll have enough to get lethal anyway, I think. But playing a land here actually gives us a chance. That's the only attack. I like our chances a ton here. One. This one. In there. Sure. Man, I feel like we have to go for this now. They didn't do the math right. They just didn't do the math right, so they're dead to Shieldred. They needed to block something else with the 1/1. Trying to hold it back actually cost them. Very sick. I think you just throw it in front of Inti. I don't know. Just do quick maths. The quick ones. The quick maths. We go first, so we can absolutely potentially ruin our opponent's day. Rest. Wow. What? That's pretty funny. Am I discarding here? Huh. Let's get rid of Shieldred. Play his tap land? Sure. Seems like a good matchup for Liliana. As weird as that is. Uh-huh. Sure. Oh.
A fight? And you think you can win?
Now that's gone. This is only us. They can't play another one and get rid of Lily here. Sure. I'm milling cards. Ah, Karavek, you really had to be the one to go in the yard, huh? I have to discard one of these. Maybe we bat them first. Oh, Tiny Bones joins up. Let's just make that card worthless then. Take their Tiny Bones here. Get you off the battlefield. Especially because they have Plaza, because they can play Plaza next turn and like hold it up because it's legendary, and this Plaza could then protect it for every turn. That I want to try to remove it with like a target removal spell. But here comes the Plaza. Rona, very nice. Nice find. Liliana would be a sick draw. This is definitely the opportunity we want for a Liliana. Sure. Land draw, huh? Get like one cycle with it, I guess. I mean, in a better position for Lily here.
Drop it.
Pretty tough to do so. No attacks, let's hold, I guess. Now their Plaza doesn't work. That's why Lily's so good in this spot. Sure. Cycle. There. We'll see what happens whenever we draw a card here. If they attack with Rona, I'm just gonna allow it. Yeah, can't really do that. Sure. My turn.
With the wrong necromancer.
Cut down huge here. Here, I guess don't let them like get a free draw again. Plus, we just need them to basically hit a land. Like kind of double time here. Present the same kind of block. Here. Relying on this Liliana pretty aggressively. Here. Relic, very cool. So are you a Slowgurk pile? That's actually kind of sick, to be honest. You sacrifice your creature.
Sacrifices must be made.
I mean, might as well just start getting aggressive, I think. I don't know what draw gets them here. That one's pretty good, I guess. Sure. I keep having the mill. Dicks, no. Oh, that's tough. Would you like to trade? Yeah, I doubted it, but you know, gotta give him the option, I guess. Plus.
Don't overthink things.
Sure. We basically have to make sure Tiny Bones here can't actually make contact with us, by the way. Because if they do, they can then cast cards from our yard. And that's not what we want at all. Yeah. Now that card's pretty good. We're progressing. We are gaming. We are moving forward, if you would.
Drop it.
Actually just gonna hold another one of these back because I would love to not trade my Blood Tithe Harvester for this. And if they keep the card in hand, yeah, I was gonna say we have them in this weird like lockout position because the reason I left back again is to protect Lily, but even more so to protect the fact that like I don't want them casting any cards in their graveyard. Like Preacher's good, Caravac's incredible for them. There's like a lot of things, and then I'm also in top deck mode as well. But as long as we do this, if they remove one of these, we have another one to block. If we try to sack this and get rid of this, they have to have Plaza up for this. And if they hold up Plaza, we'll just plus Liliana, getting their last card, hopefully. And then if they cast it to get around the Liliana plus, and then we have Blood Tithe Harvester activation onto Tiny Bones. So we have a lot of ways to get around a lot of things that they're trying to do there. My opponent goes first. Brutal. We'll keep here. We have a lot. We have 4 cards that are castable based off of what our mana is. We have Duress and Cut Down. I have to assume this is just control. So we're going to try to loosen the hand up next turn. Oh my God, is it not control? Let's take a look. Huh? This one, I guess. What? Honestly, kind of goated. Straight up. Don't you dare play another threat. I need to cast your Virtuoso to win, okay? A thing that you can't stop. Sure. This is my Virtuoso now. He's a dangerous boy. I love him. Honestly, this is kind of risky because I can actually bounce it back to their hand, which is funny. But, you know, I have no idea. Here. We're in. Yeah. What do you got, opponent? Let's slam a Preacher. Did you draw the... No more lies. No. You draw Sunfall. And 2 draws. No. Sick. Let me move to combat. Let me get hit with an Emperor real quick. Fine with it all. Alright. We're probably going to need something else here. Sure. One. We're wastelanding them, by the way. Yep. I'll take it. We don't have a whole lot of reason for our spot removal, I think. So I'm gonna take that chance. I'm gonna do that. Now they have to have land plus like a board wipe. They could, obviously. Oh boy. In there? Are we going for it again? That makes sense. What are we blocking? They just didn't block. They animated it at the wrong time. That's funny. We'll take the dissipate. Do I have lethal here? 1, 2. I actually don't. Screw it. I'll put you in top deck mode. Get me. Go for it. Did you hit it? Because the problem is they... Nope, did not hit it, indeed. But, like, it's a fine creature. But now they're still stuck on 1 blocker, right? So block... block like any... Okay, never mind. It just doesn't matter. So we're nuts, apparently. Get in there. Man, we really just took this blue-white Virtuoso deck to it. They just didn't block. Yeah. Tough. It's tough when you have two negates and they just don't work out. Like, it's so hard. That's why I hate... Like, I understand playing negate in best of one. Like, I really, really do. I don't know if... Keeping two negates in your opener. I wonder if they drew one. No, I duressed them. Did I go first? I actually don't remember now because I blew up their land. But two negates are tough, bro. They're so tough. I mean, yeah, right? I mean, one drop or 1 mana play, 2 mana play, 3 mana play, like multiple 2 mana plays. I'll definitely take it. Ah, snap. We are dead. I feel like this matchup has to be like pretty impossible for us, but who knows? Well, we can get rid of that. Our cut down got value, which is actually massive. Turn the earth, fair. We will deep cavern bat. Click, clicky, click, 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 click. Nissa annoying. Nissa 1 can be taken. And then we duress away the ill time, I guess. They don't have a green. Oh, they have a green in play. I was like, do they not have green? Go for the third, please. Oh, so close. Rest. Couple of islands, just a couple of lands. Sure. Decline. We already played everything. We don't really want to send anything we have in the yard away. It's very possible to draw a land here, but who knows? Ill time also has to hit if that's what they draw. And there's already 2 in the yard. They just make 1 mana. I get in World Soul Rage? No. Okay. I can say I'm a little shaky on that attack. Can't say I'm a huge fan of it. Yeah. Move to combat. I don't need NT to attack. I just need my bat to attack. One. Here. On my bat. Sure. What do we hit? Liliana. Fantastic. Exactly a card we're looking to hit here. Could have Odawara, but then they have to replay Nissa, and then Lily pluses are pretty bad for them. Also, Liliana with NT, mint, by the way. This does not care. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, it gives us value off Lily the entire time. Hey, that's a World Soul Rage. You can kill my Lily. Will you do it for 1, though? No? That seems wild to me. I just figured they would. This is an 0-3. I'm gonna get rid of a Preacher, and I'm gonna put the counter on Inties so they don't really have a good block. Karavek. Each player discards a card. You sure?
We all have things we never forget.
Yeah. Here, I guess. Here's the problem, right? Sure, if they World Soul Rage me, they can make some mana. But, like, what are you targeting? Are you targeting Lily? Are you targeting my creature? Are you getting my Deep Cavern Bat? Because even getting your thing back, like, this is in hand. Now you have to worry about the Liliana anytime that you do something because you didn't World Soul it for 1. But, like, I don't blame them for not doing it because obviously you got, like, a finite amount of resources. But obviously Karavek has to go. So 3. 3 lands come in. Very cool. Sure. All this is fine. Also, we're like Or plussing on their hand too. So their last card in hand is not gonna get played unless it's a land. Yeah. They can turn the earth on upkeep too. This is a little interesting. All the way back up to 17. Okay, well, hear me out. Shieldred's a pretty good answer to this. Honestly, at this point, I'd rather Liliana go away. Clear this out of my road.
Luck. One of your friends has to
Here we go. In there. Decline, because if they do just draw like a Nissa here, I would much rather be willing to get rid of it. They don't put a stop. Or they did. They just didn't turn the earth. Because with turn the earth, I think you just like put the world soul back and hope like maybe you draw it and then you can answer Shieldred, right? Yeah, you can definitely answer Shieldred with that mana, and you just hope you draw it, or you just have to ill time and hope like you hit well enough. So you could have put 2 ill times and a world soul back in your deck and hope at like hit. We go first. I feel like we can probably keep this. Just get the vents down, play the swamp, deep cavern bat on turn 2 like you always do in this deck. That's a tough draw, but be fine, maybe. Deep cavern bat themselves, be honest, deep cavern bat doesn't bother me as much as wedding announcement does. Yeah, sure. And if they deep cavern bat me, like they're gonna get one of my 2 Shieldreds, and I can't play them both, so it doesn't like really matter. And a Denic we're just gonna have to deal with, I think. Sure. Sick draw to go here. Nope. I'm not willing to trade and give wedding announcement back. Wedding announcement draws him a lot of cards, so I don't want them to get that. Or makes threats that get kind of annoying whenever they play Rafine. I mean, we know where we're at. No Odawara bounce, but you should just probably take 2 here. They can play Rafine and Odawara bounce for 2 mana, but they can't play Rafine and do that. Yeah, because it's 4. So if they have another legendary, if they have 2 legendaries, they can do it for 1, but I don't know what that would be. Oh, look at that. You're looking to bounce it? An instep? Wild. I mean, I'll take an Emperor here. That's where we're going with this. Trying to decide if Blood Tithe Harvester is worth stacking or if Blood Token just needs to be sacked here. I think Blood Token just needs to be sacked. Then we'll just get rid of one of these and maybe we'll hit something. Go for the third's good. They're really on this, like, not bouncing or like Shieldred until the end or doing something in speed. Is it very mastermind? Yeah, I would say I kind of figured that's where we were at, but that into counterspell maybe. What do we got? Looks like counterspell to me. This one. And then now my 3/2 can get aggressive. Hmm. This one. Counter it. I should have played the land to play around Make Disappear, but like I say, if they're playing Make Disappear and Esper, I will eat a shoe. There's just like no reason to, really. This one. Puts you down to 11. No real way that they're giving up this children. And I'd rather them give up children on our terms. Like, I'd much rather block and then have the mana to do children here. Sure. NTN. Blood Tithe Harvester in. Land in. What do we got, opponent? Denick on the back end? Okay. Oh boy. Red, black. Maybe it's just not worth. Attack here. Yes. Sick. We want them to block so bad. They do. Sick. And we have trample, so it goes over. Now we slam a Lily. We minus on the bat. Get our shielded back.
I've always hated crowds.
Now we in turn. We're schmoving right now. What a good time. They're hitting a lot of lands though. And I mean a lot of lands. They have a lot of creature lands that they can use. But will they? Because then they're kind of like tapped out to attack this Lily. Deep Cavern Bat? Sure. Empties my hand for my Lily? Sure. Oh, no. Do we save Lily here? Don't know. I think the answer is no. Because if they miss on this map on their Deep Cavern Bat, if that's what they go for, my Deep Cavern Bat can trade it. Or, like, better. Or it works out very well for them. This one. Bring this up. Through the combat. This and this. We want this to trigger first because we want to cycle. Very weird. We do this, now NT will trigger. With that, I'm going to decline. They can trade it off if they'd like, but Gix is too good here. Now we're kind of sitting in this, like, they're sitting in this, like, weird spot. Sure, they can cut down a wedding announcement, but, like, we have a lot of good things in play. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we need, like, one land, and then both these lands can come up and attack. Sure. I can also activate Gix. They attack. They're going on the aggressive. It seems even, like, riskier in general, right? Actually, this time around, we don't want to do that. This one. Yes. One. Hey. This one? What a good hit. What a good hit. What a good hit. The only real problem is they block, right? But I hit for 2. And now I draw 2. Take the action. Take the action. Okay, I lied. My deck sucks. You could argue to hold him for the Gix activation, but now that I have double Restless Fence activation, it's like impossible for me to lose here. Especially the fact that they played a land because these have Menace. And then I can have NT trigger on 1, so they're both 3 damage. So they basically have to hold Deep Cavern Bat and do blocks, I think. They attack. And it's just over from here. Doesn't matter. So they have 3 blockers, and I have way too much going on. So let's play this just to make sure. Colorless red. Screw this up. Black, red, colorless. Bring this up. Welcome to it. Move them in. We do both of these first. You never know what we'll hit. This one. And just like that, we hit another cut down. Yep. Man, NT working as hard as he physically can to win us games here. That's crazy. But yeah, now we have a cut down to target this. If they bring this up, we get to target it. If they bring this up, we get to target it all with this cut down. Just because we took a little bit extra looting. So that is something to look out for. Be careful, because apparently the client wants to do NT first at all times. You should do the cycle there first if you're really digging for a card. All right, apparently Rakdos is cracked. We went undefeated on today. I think I went 5-0, 6-0. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell based off video length, and I'm just kind of recording the outro immediately after. But we played against a lot of different decks, and it turned out to go incredibly well. The Tiny Bones at 3 of didn't cost us very often, although I do like Tiny Bones being a 2 of a lot of times because the Legendary Clause is a little tough. But this deck really wants to play it on turn 1. You really want to find it early, because the later the game goes, that's like the hard part about playing 2 of them. It's the later the game goes, kind of the worse it gets, because it starts getting picked up into board sweepers, or it gets picked up in like our opponent Memory Deluge getting a lot of cards, or mono red just kind of waiting to just shoot things out of the way in order to get its creatures through. So there's a lot of things that can happen in that retrospect. But this deck performed incredibly well, and Liliana actually today was a very good kind of piece when it kind of got to combo with NT. The value that these two kind of produce together is what can be very strong. Let me move this, because if you kind of missed it, or maybe you didn't like the matchup, so you skipped ahead or something, but NT triggers off of every single discard. It just doesn't put a counter on it necessarily. So whenever you plus Liliana and discard a card, you actually don't really lose value with NT, as long as you're smart with your mana and keep it up so you can actually use a lot of your spells. And you don't have a lot to fear from, because the highest cost spell in your deck is 4. So if you have 4 to 5 mana, like, the discarding Liliana is free, because you know everything's going to be castable or playable. And a lot of times if you have 4 or 5 mana and it's a land in hand, you might as well just plus with Liliana in your hand, because then your NT will give you value off that land. You don't just have to play it and then you just like plus and you don't get value off NT if you're looking for that value. If you don't need it and you just want more land drops, then of course do that. As you saw in the last matchup, having more land drops allowed Restless Fence to come in and be the MVP in that match. But this deck definitely took turns. Like, certain cards were just incredible, whether it was Duress and Deep Cavern Bat kind of comboing up and allowing our Liliana to come in and finish the job, or having Shieldred do that. Or it was Tiny Bones being incredibly annoying, attacking early, playing their creatures, allowing us to slow the game down where they couldn't really attack into it because they didn't want to swing into a 1/1 Death Toucher, but then we brought their creatures back that bought us time. Or it was go for the throw and cut down, just removing the things we needed. Deep Cavern Bat to loosen the hands. Preacher didn't do a lot today necessarily, but we did have one game where it was attacking and drew us cards. I think today is probably one of the most like versatile games that I've had in terms of like multiple cards were actually showing themselves off, where they showed, hey, I have value and you should be playing me. Where a lot of times when you play a deck, for example, like the Boros Convoke deck, or not Boros Convoke, but the Boros aggro decks that are playing like Slick Shot a lot of times is your key card, the show off card that you're like, this is what my deck is doing. But today's games went that way incredibly well for us with just any combination of cards that we had. So it worked out very well. The synergy went well. This did well in a challenge, and you can kind of look in here in the sideboard. We are really we're kind of just good in all aspects. Where like Hidetsugu is really good at getting all the 1 mana spells off. The only 1 mana thing we have is Tiny Bones, so it's not like that big of a deal if it gets gone. It's legendary. It's not like we can overcommit them and then draw a Hidetsugu. We can only have one in play at a time. So it's not like we're going to play one, then play one again along with the resting our opponent. Like you have to do with some other 1-drops to make your curves work. But Hidetsugu's in here for Convoke, Gix Command for maybe the bigger decks, and Long Goodbye for like Esper whenever you need to get that Rafine off the board and uncounterable, and then Karavec to come in to kind of be that extra pressure if needed whenever the games go long and you just want to duress your opponent multiple times. But other than that, the deck's super sick. I liked it a lot. It is a Rakdos deck, but as you can tell, it is really kind of sitting in that mono black territory. But the sideboard does bring in some crucial cards that you're really wanting, like Hidetsugu or the Obliterating Bolt. And Hidetsugu can also exile graveyards. So if graveyards matter, it can help you kind of defend against that as well. So other than that, I'm going to call it there. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.